China's capital, Beijing, has closed several school districts after a surge in COVID-19 cases and is urging residents in its hardest-hit areas to stay home. Over the weekend, Beijing reported 2 COVID-19 deaths, the first in the country since May. Meanwhile, the port city, Guangzhou, began a 5-day lockdown of its most populous Beijing district. China has made adjustments to its zero-COVID policy, urging local authorities to deploy targeted closures rather than catch-all lockdowns. But even with the changes, lockdown fatigue is still palpable.
You can't go anywhere. Everything's closed. Customers can't come either. So what can you do? Nothing.
Right now, I don't know how it will go. The policy is changing every day. But I feel that China's COVID policy is still pretty good.
All right, let's get more on this from correspondent Fabian Kretschmer in Beijing. Fabian, how have authorities reacted in Beijing to the spurt in cases and recent deaths?
Yeah, with new restrictions in Beijing, all the school buildings, they closed down and shifted to online classes. The restaurants in the city are also either closed down or only operate for takeout food. Entertainment venues, they remain shut down. And then when you walk around in the city, you can see a lot of residential compounds also sealed off. And on the streets, there's really an incredible amount of ambulances driving around, potentially bringing suspected and confirmed COVID cases to quarantine facilities. So all in all, I would call this a lockdown light because by Chinese standards, it's not a full lockdown. We can at least still go out on the street, but the restrictions are getting more stricter by the day.
So explain this to me, because China announced a relaxation in zero-COVID policy a little over 10 days back. How do all these latest measures square with that relaxation?
They don't, and it's hard really to explain because the situation on the ground is rather chaotic, ambivalent, ambiguous. Nobody really knows what is the new playbook, so to speak. And even though we have the new rules by the central government, here on the ground they are not implemented consistently. And it seems that especially the local governments are very cautious in opening up, if they want to open up at all. I mean, we see it in the example of Shijiazhuang, that's the provincial capital of Hebei province. And that was the first city that basically suspended mass testings, reopened the schools despite high infection numbers. And just today they reversed all those relaxations and opening. So we really don't know how it will develop in the future. But right now the policy shift seems to indicate that we are going into lockdowns again.
Is this causing any frustration among people in China?
Yeah, I would say the reactions can be classified into two reactions. One is fear. I mean, people are afraid of getting locked down either at home or in centralized quarantine facilities. And then, of course, there's the anger, the frustration, because our everyday life is getting disrupted. Especially the school closures has caused a lot of anger among Chinese parents. And the economic damage is also huge. Shop owners are frustrated. Migrant workers are hit. And then, of course, there's a lot of outcry on social media when people see another example of excessive implementation of COVID rules. For example, several days ago, a newborn baby has died in a quarantine facility because it could not be transported to a hospital fast enough. So I would say yes, definitely the anger is rising and increasing by the day.
We'll leave it there for the time being, but thanks so much for bringing us that picture of a relaxed zero-COVID situation in China. Fabian Kretschmer reporting from Beijing. Thank you so much.